We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the Soto District of Seattle. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. That's a gain of 13 and a very solid opening play for this offense. CD, always more eyes on these night games, and they started it off nicely there on that run.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Don't think for a second these players don't know and understand that. They want to impress their peers across the league. They also want to win the ball game. That's the way to get things going.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Walker with another carry. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The Seahawks sitting at 5-2 on the year. And they come in on a good run. Winners of 5 of their last 7.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Here's 2nd and 8. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. And now a handoff to Charbonnet. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. You look at this defense for the Vikings. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
And they needed to be, because that game was a game you don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and they got it done.
This is 2nd and 8. To the right side, this is Walker. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. This defense for the Vikings, they were very strong in the win last week over the Giants.
And they needed to be, because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and each play took on more importance, and they got it done.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Kenneth Murray leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. The pressure that time right up the middle, and he was able to wiggle in there pretty easily and get the sack.
Yeah, sometimes you end up getting caught in a little bit of a breakdown about who to block up front, and that creates the gap there, and he took full advantage, got to the quarterback, and finished off the sack.
They'll get 4 back there on the run, but now they're looking up at a 3rd and 12 situation.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder. You think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down. Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Now a chance to take advantage of that missed field goal. 1st and 10, way up at the 37. They defer to Brown to start the drive. Able to avoid him at the 40. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there. And it's 2nd down. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. A yard, all they need, but it's 3rd down. Now a handoff to Bigsby. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Down to about the 37.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully. Still searching for that first breakthrough, and I thought this might be it. But it's not to be, and we're still scoreless.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to float this over the middle deep, and he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. On the give, here's Charbonnet. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
A lot depended on the spot there, and he got it. But it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the first down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense that's certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prole spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up. I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball, and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. McCarthy operating from the gun. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, it turns out it's not their offense who gets him on the board first, CD. It's the defense coming through right there with a pick 6.
And I know from experience throughout the week when you go against the offense, you're challenging them all the time. You're letting them know, hey, don't worry about scoring this week. We'll take care of it. We'll get a few pick 6s and score ourselves. You're just kidding? But how about what he just did right there? Laid it out for the rest of the game. We scored. Hey, offense, can you keep up with us?
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4 at the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you've got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Third down at 6. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. That is caught. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Brown. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Got him in. It's Brown. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Bigsby going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Defense really sold out there to stop the run. Understandable down near the goal line. Now on second down, you have to wonder, might we see play action here and a flip right over the top?
And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from evening this one up. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot.
Nice feet set.
If you're a little early or a little
Feet
late,
set.
chances are there's
Ball
going to be
3
someone
yards
there.
over his
Sure
head.
enough, this one's going the other way.
In motion right is Davis. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. 43 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
They go right back to the ground here in Brown. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
A 2nd and 7 with our score tied at 7, but they're planning to change that soon. Only question, will they get 3 or 6 out of it? They will toss to Brown. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
The 22 is the line to gain here on third down. Here's McCarthy. And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked off by Reek Woolen. And the Seahawks are going to take over here up near the 40. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, the first half very even. I mean, really in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we... And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. picked off by Reek Woolen. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, these are the situations that really test the defense, those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
Straight ahead, Walker. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Blitz.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Got to get to the 26 for the first. This is third down. Back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 2-yard line. Well, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks
Play a
about
6-4.
they want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst a punt.
I'm not finna crash out in this game right now.
Because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows a defense to tighten up their coverage, and they pick that one off.
Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Just need a yard here, 2nd and 1. Here's a tap forward by McCarthy on the touch pass. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11.
Now, they did get a little gain on this play, but all in all, a nice job defensively against the touch pass. They were able to string it out towards the sideline and never let him get the corner and turn it upfield for a bigger chunk of yardage.
They'll run on third down with Brown. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here's 2nd and 10. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And his throw is incomplete.
Thank you.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Looking to throw McCarthy. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. The end result, 21 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play Never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun to give to Spears. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. "38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Now McCarthy. This one brought in by Jefferson. And Jefferson's going to have the Vikings 1st down up near midfield, spotted at the 48. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. To the air with McCarthy. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
3rd quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Throwing is McCarthy. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Here's 3rd and 7. From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And the Seahawks are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. But Charles, in a tie game, you always wonder who's going to be making the big plays. Right now, it's not the offensive players. We're seeing these defenses step up and take control. Both of the last 2 drives have ended with interceptions.
They are certainly dictating this game, aren't they? Now it's going to come down to which offense can follow their defense.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
3rd and 19. Looking to throw. That is incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. This is Brown going up the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 58 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Here's a give to Bigsby. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, partner, I haven't seen a vote for most popular player on the team. This guy's got to get a lot of votes. He does not care, does he? Totally unselfish, physical runner, doesn't worry about yardage, just keeps moving the chains, being a team player.
Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And he will maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And that's also all for this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Seattle, Washington. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Second and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He'll find Gabriel Davis. So the completion good for 7 there. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd down from the gun, McCarthy. Throw right side here taken in by Bateman. And he will have a Vikings first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a first down.
An inside give, Brown. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. In motion left is Davis. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. McCarthy. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Now a 2nd and 10. They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. From the gun on 3rd down, McCarthy. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And this one is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And they'll run on 3rd down to Charbonnet. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. Walker now on 1st and 10. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a 1st down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. If you've been waiting all day for this Sunday nighter's been worth the wait. It's third down here. They'll look to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
That is intercepted. Picked up by Reek Woolen. And a return across midfield into the 46-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They'll probably spend a little extra time dissecting the game film after this one. I think that part of their plan was to hit them over the top of the deep ball. They've been unsuccessful all night.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. And complete to Smith and Jigba.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Here now, 3rd down. Back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. I tell you, it has not been his best day throwing the football. He really needs to piece something together here.
All will be forgiven if he leads them into the end zone.
All 3 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10 now. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks. Pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. A big play looming on 3rd down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts That'll leave him with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Tough, boys. Stay tough.
A big play needed, no doubt. 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Vikings are going to win this football game. Victory formation.